What's going on, gents? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to discuss the importance of finding your edge. Look, as a man in 2025, there are so many opportunities. There are so many ways you can make money. There are so many ways you can start a business. There are so many ways that you can gather bits of information. There are so many ways that you can gain qualifications and learn new skills. The opportunities are there. But one thing I have noticed is that there are a lot of guys who just dabble in lots of different things. They put half effort into anything and everything they do. And look, although on the surface they're doing lots of things, although on the resume it's really impressive all the things that they can do, they don't really specialize in anything. And look, I'm a person, I love going out there and getting skills. But with anything and everything I do, I try and go 100% because I don't want to be the guy who has this bit of skill or has this qualification, but they don't actually have the competency to properly teach that skill or showcase their ability to use that skill. And this is why within this video, guys, I wanted to say to you, look, with anything and everything you do, go to your absolute limit. You know, if you're learning a skill, give it absolutely everything you have. If you're starting a new job, give it everything you have. If you're building social media content, give it everything you have. Look, if you are a young guy between 20 and 35 watching this video right now, you've still got incredible energy to devote to these skills, to these qualifications, to this specific thing you are working on. I see too many guys that will just reserve energy, that will just dabble in this thing or that thing. They don't ever give 100%. And look, you're not going to master every single thing that you do. You know, you're not going to become a top 1% runner or a top 1% lifter or a top 1% reader or whatever if you're doing lots of different things, of course. But that still doesn't mean you shouldn't try and be as good as you possibly can in these different things. You know, in life you're going to be served really, really well if in whatever you do, you fully apply yourself. As I said to you, you're not going to be the best in the world at something unless it is your sole focus, unless it is the thing that you spend most of your time on. Of course, I mean, that's why Olympians, athletes, these people who have improved over a really long period of time in a specific industry or a specific sport are where they are today, because they dedicated so much time to get there. And it was their sole focus. And look, if you are doing lots of different things, of course, it's only natural that you're not going to be the best in the world or the top 1% in those different things because you're spreading it out. But that doesn't then mean that you should dabble. It doesn't then mean that you should just try a bit, you know, conserve a bit of energy there. I'll do that, but I won't do too much. I'll just do what's necessary. It's a bad habit to get into, guys. Now, of course, if you're a guy who's doing 5 or 6 different activities every single week, maybe you're going to the gym, maybe you're reading, maybe you're starting your business, maybe you're going to a skills club, maybe you're learning a musical instrument, lots of different things. Of course, you're going to be tired. Of course, there's going to be some moments where the energy is lower than others. But don't find yourself just kind of half-arsing all the little things that you do, because as Jim Rohn says, everything affects everything. You know, if you are lazy in your language learning classes, then you're going to be lazy at your job. If you're lazy at your job, you're going to be lazy with your social media content creation. Everything affects everything. So don't fall into the habit of thinking that just because you're doing lots of different things, you don't need to give 100% into everything and anything that you do. You do. But the reward, guys, is that when you do start to go from a dabbler to a high performer, your life starts to level up. Because not only are you engaging in skills, you're mastering these skills, right? There's a difference between somebody who just turns up to a class and completes the class versus somebody who studies the class, somebody who pursues excellence within that class or within that gym environment or whatever it is that you do. Be the guy who strives to give his absolute best in anything and everything that he does, and I promise you, life is going to reward you. Look, if there's one thing to take from this video today, it's that you shouldn't be the dabbler. You shouldn't be the guy who just dips his toe in the water and, tries a little bit, sometimes puts in a bit of effort, but generally is very mediocre. You want to be the guy who gives everything all the time. If you're young, you have energy. If not now, when? If you're in your 20s, 30s, maybe even early 40s, when else is the moment to give everything? Because when you're 60, you're not going to have the same energy that you have today. But very possibly, if you give 100% to anything and everything that you do, you're going to get rewarded a lot quicker than the guys who just turn up, than the guys who just try when they feel like it. So look, I really hope, guys, that going forward now, in anything and everything you do after watching this video, you're going to give it a bit more attention and you're going to lock in that little bit more. You're going to work that little bit harder and hopefully you're going to see incredible results a little bit quicker. But anyway, guys, look, if you took some value from this video today, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, comment your thoughts down below. Every single one of those things makes a huge difference. And look, I'm trying to grow this channel as big as I possibly can this year, and your support is much appreciated. If you guys are interested, I run a free men's Discord community. I'm going to leave the link down below in the description. It's just a small group of guys where we get together, help each other through tough times, help each other to level up, share wins, share losses, but ultimately just help each other make those 1% improvements every single day. And look, if you are interested in a one-to-one connection with me, I offer my coaching services. I'm going to leave my links down below in the description. So if you fancy a one-to-one call with me, book yourself a slot and I will see you on the other side. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one.